This tiny coin in my hand might look completely ordinary. It's a 1991 US penny. You've probably seen one just like it in your spare change, lying on the sidewalk, or stuck between couch cushions. But what if I told you this little penny could be worth not just 1 cent, not just a few dollars, but potentially hundreds, thousands, or even more? That's right, hidden among these seemingly insignificant coins are treasures that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes a 1991 penny so special, how to spot the rare ones, and how you could turn pocket change into a major payday. Let's start by diving into what makes the 1991 penny stand out. You see, in 1991, the US Mint struck over 12 billion pennies. Think about that, 12 billion. They were produced in 3 major locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The vast majority of these coins were unremarkable, just everyday pennies used for transactions. But hidden within that massive production run are rarities and minting mistakes that transformed a simple cent into a collector's dream. To understand why these errors happened, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1991 penny. On the front, we have the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a staple of the penny since 1909. On the back, the Lincoln Memorial is featured, a tribute to one of the nation's most recognizable landmarks. Simple, right? But beneath this familiar design lies a fascinating story. By 1991, pennies were no longer made of pure copper. Instead, they were primarily zinc with a thin copper coating. While this change reduced costs, it also introduced opportunities for errors, imperfections, and oddities during the minting process. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The minting process is like a high-speed assembly line on steroids. Hundreds of thousands of coins are struck every hour, and sometimes, mistakes happen. When they do, the result can be something truly unique, something that collectors will pay top dollar for. Imagine a penny struck off-center, where Lincoln's face is shifted awkwardly to one side. Or one with doubled letters or numbers, creating a shadow-like effect. These errors, known as mint errors, can turn a coin that's literally worth a penny into a jackpot. Let's talk about some of the specific errors to look out for on a 1991 penny. First up, the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, leaving part of the design missing. Depending on how off-center it is, these pennies can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $1,000. Then there's the double die error, one of the most sought-after mistakes. This happens when the die used to strike the coin imprints the design more than once, slightly offset. It might sound subtle, but to collectors, it's pure gold. A penny with a strong double die could sell for several $100s, maybe even more. Another fascinating error is the missing copper layer. Remember how I mentioned that modern pennies are mostly zinc with a thin copper coating? Sometimes, during production, that copper layer gets skipped or partially removed, leaving a silvery, zinc-colored penny. These oddities are rare and can sell for hundreds of dollars. In fact, some collectors have been known to pay thousands for coins that exhibit significant minting flaws. Just imagine, you could be holding one of these treasures right now without even realizing it. But how do you know if your 1991 penny is one of these valuable rarities? It's simpler than you might think. You don't need to be a seasoned numismatist to get started. A few basic tools can help you unlock the secrets of your spare change. First, invest in a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. These let you examine your pennies up close, spotting details like doubled letters or missing layers. Second, compare your coins to reference images or use coin collecting apps to verify what you found. Let me show you an example. Here's a 1991 penny with an off-center strike that sold at auction for $300. Look closely, it's not perfect, but that imperfection is exactly what makes it valuable. Imagine finding one like this in your change jar. And then there's the double die penny, with distinct shadowing on the date and lettering. A coin like this could easily fetch $500 or more, depending on its condition. Could you spot these details on your own? That's the exciting part, you might already have a treasure hiding in plain sight. And if you're lucky enough to come across a proof penny from 1991, things get even more interesting. Proof coins are special. They're not made for circulation but for collectors. These coins are struck with extra care, resulting in a shiny, mirror-like finish that's absolutely stunning. Proof pennies from 1991 were minted in San Francisco and bear the distinctive S mint mark. While most proof coins aren't worth much more than face value, flawless examples or ones with unique errors can be worth significantly more. If you have a proof penny, it could be the crown jewel of your collection. Now, let's say you found a 1991 penny that looks unusual. What's the next step? How do you turn it into cash? First, you'll want to verify its authenticity and value. Consider having the coin graded by a professional service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A high grade can dramatically increase a coin's value. Next, explore your selling options. Rare coins often sell best at auctions, but online marketplaces like eBay can also fetch good prices. And don't overlook local coin dealers, they can provide expert advice and may even make you a solid offer on the spot. Of course, preserving your penny is just as important as identifying it. The last thing you want is to damage a valuable coin by mishandling it. Store your coins in protective sleeves or cases to keep them safe from scratches, moisture, and tarnish. Remember, condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Music shifts to an inspiring and uplifting tone. So, what's the takeaway here? The humble 1991 penny might just be one of the most overlooked treasures in your pocket. Whether it's an off-center strike, a double die, a missing copper layer, or a stunning proof coin, these tiny imperfections can make a world of difference. Don't underestimate the value of your spare change, every penny truly does count. And here's something to think about, there's a little-known fact about 1991 pennies that we didn't get to in this video. Want to know what it is? Well, you'll have to tune into our next episode to find out. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and before you go, take a moment to check your wallet, your jars, even the floor of your car. Who knows? Your next big discovery might be right under your nose. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another coin hunting adventure. Have you found a rare coin before? Let us know in the comments, we'd love to hear your story. Until next time, happy hunting. This tiny coin in my hand might look like an ordinary 1964 penny, but what if I told you it could be worth a small fortune? Yes, this little 1-cent piece could potentially fetch hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition, rarity, and some fascinating secrets hiding in plain sight. You might have one sitting in a jar at home, tucked away in a drawer, or mixed in with your spare change. Today, we're going to uncover why the 1964 penny has collectors and treasure hunters buzzing with excitement. Let's start with its backstory. The 1964 penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was part of a long and storied tradition. The design, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back, was first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It replaced the iconic wheat penny design that had been in circulation since 1909. The Lincoln Memorial design remained in use until 2008, making it a familiar sight for generations of Americans, but what makes the 1964 penny stand out is not just its design but also the circumstances of its production. In the early 1960s, the United States faced a coin shortage. This was largely due to the rising value of silver, which caused people to hoard coins made from the precious metal. To address this issue, the U.S. Mint ramped up production of lower-denomination coins like pennies, producing billions of them in 1964 alone. These pennies were struck at two primary mints, Philadelphia, which did not include a mint mark on its coins, and Denver, which used a small D mint mark just below the date. Now, here's where things get interesting. Despite the mass production, not all 1964 pennies are created equal. Some of them have errors or unique features that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. These errors occurred during the minting process and were never meant to leave the mint, but a few managed to slip through, becoming prized possessions for those lucky enough to find them. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1964 penny is the doubled die. This occurs when the design on the die, the tool used to stamp the image onto the coin, is struck twice at slightly different angles. The result is a coin with doubled elements, such as the text or Lincoln's profile. On a 1964 penny, you might see doubling in the word liberty, the date, or the phrase, "In God We Trust." These doubled die pennies are rare, and depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition, they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another intriguing variety is the 1964 penny with a repunched mint mark, RPM. This happens when the mint mark, which is added to the coin separately from the rest of the design, is stamped more than once but in slightly different positions. For example, on a Denver minted penny, you might notice a faint second D overlapping or slightly offset from the first. Collectors love these coins because they represent a clear and distinct minting error, but it doesn't stop there. Some 1964 pennies are missing details due to a worn die or a weak strike, while others have off-center designs, where the image is shifted away from the center of the coin, leaving part of it blank. Off-center strikes are particularly eye-catching and can fetch high prices at auction, especially if the coin's date is still fully visible. Then there's the rare and elusive transitional error. During the minting process, old planchets, blank coins, from a previous year or denomination sometimes accidentally get used. For example, a 1964 penny might be struck on a silver dime planchet instead of the standard copper alloy. These errors are incredibly rare and can sell for tens of thousands of dollars if authenticated. So, how do you know if your 1964 penny is one of these valuable treasures? The first step is to examine it closely. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is essential for spotting tiny details that might otherwise go unnoticed. Start by looking at the date and mint mark. Is the mint mark doubled? Does the date show any signs of doubling? Next, inspect the coin's surface for any unusual features, such as missing letters, off-center strikes, or odd coloration that might indicate a transitional error. It's also a good idea to consult reference guides or use coin collecting apps to compare your penny to known examples of valuable 1964 errors. These resources can help you identify specific features and determine whether your coin is worth further investigation. If you believe you found a rare 1964 penny, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. These experts will examine your coin under high-powered magnification, confirm its authenticity, and assign it a grade based on its condition. Coins with higher grades, indicating they are well preserved with minimal wear, tend to fetch higher prices. Once your coin has been authenticated, you'll need to decide whether to keep it as a collector's item or sell it. If you choose to sell, there are several options. Online auction sites like eBay can connect you with a global audience of collectors, while local coin shops or dealers can provide a quick and straightforward selling process. For particularly valuable coins, you might consider selling through a professional auction house, which can help you reach serious collectors willing to pay top dollar. Of course, if you plan to hold on to your 1964 penny, proper storage is essential. Coins should be stored in protective sleeves, cases, or albums to prevent damage from moisture, dust, or handling. Avoid cleaning your coin, as this can reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins in their original, unaltered state, even if they show signs of age or wear. The 1964 penny might seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but its story is anything but ordinary. From fascinating errors to rare varieties, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike. Who knows? The next time you sift through your loose change, you might just find a 1964 penny worth far more than a cent. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your magnifying glass, start examining your pennies, and see if you can uncover a hidden treasure. And if you do find something extraordinary, be sure to share your story. You never know, it might just inspire someone else to start their own coin collecting adventure. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins. And one last thing, there's a secret about 1964 pennies we didn't cover in this video. Want to know what it is? Tune into our next episode to find out. Until then, happy hunting. This tiny coin in my hand might look ordinary, but what if I told you it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Yes, this little 1993 US penny might just be the hidden treasure you've been searching for. Coins like this have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions, and the most exciting part? You could have one sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. Curious to know why these pennies are worth so much? Stick around, and I'll reveal all the secrets you need to uncover the value hidden in plain sight. In 1993, the US Mint struck billions of pennies, churning them out by the millions each day. To most people, they were just another coin, a simple cent to toss in your pocket or drop in a vending machine. But not all 1993 pennies are created equal. Among the billions of coins minted, some are unique, a collector's dream, thanks to rare errors and fascinating quirks in their design and production. To understand why these coins are so sought after, we need to explore their story, from the materials used to the minting process itself. By 1993, pennies were primarily made of zinc with a thin copper coating, a composition introduced in the early 1980s to reduce production costs. While this change was practical, it also introduced new challenges in the minting process, leading to rare and unexpected errors. The pennies were produced at 3 major mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints left its mark, literally, on the coins. Philadelphia pennies have no mint mark, Denver pennies bear a small D, and proof coins from San Francisco feature an S. These small details can have a massive impact on the value of your coin. Now, let's get to the good stuff: mint errors. Errors are like the golden tickets of the coin world. They happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, creating a coin that's slightly, or sometimes dramatically, different from the standard design. Take, for instance, the off-center strike. Imagine a penny where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. This kind of error is easy to spot, and collectors love it, often paying hundreds of dollars to own such a coin. Another fascinating error is the double die. This happens when the coin's design is struck twice slightly out of alignment, creating a doubled effect. You might notice it in the text, like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or in Lincoln's profile. It's subtle, but once you know what to look for, it's unmistakable. And here's the kicker: coins with this error can sell for hundreds, even thousands, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's overall condition. Then there's the missing layer error. Pennies are supposed to have a thin copper coating over a zinc core, giving them their familiar reddish appearance. But sometimes, that copper layer is missing, leaving the coin with a silvery, zinc-colored surface. These coins are rare, and their unique look makes them highly desirable among collectors. Let's take a moment to look at a real-world example. Imagine finding a 1993 penny with a slight off-center strike. At first glance, it might not seem like much, but at auction, that penny could sell for $300 or more. Or consider a penny with a double die error. A coin like that, depending on the clarity and placement of the doubling, could fetch as much as $500 or more. It's incredible to think that a small flaw, invisible to most people, could add so much value to a coin. So, how can you tell if your 1993 penny is one of these rare and valuable treasures? It's easier than you might think. First, you'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. These tools will help you see the fine details that could indicate an error. Start by examining the mint mark. Is it missing? Misaligned? Or does it look unusual in some other way? Then, look closely at the text and design elements. Do you notice any doubling or irregularities? And don't forget to inspect the edges and surface of the coin for signs of missing layers or other anomalies. And here's a tip: always check your proof coins. Proof coins are specially made for collectors and are struck with extra care, resulting in a shiny, mirror-like surface and sharp details. These coins are rare to begin with, but if you find a proof coin with an error or unique feature, it could be worth far more than face value. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, are particularly prized. Once you've identified a potential treasure, the next step is to preserve it. Coins can lose value if they're scratched, tarnished, or damaged, so it's crucial to handle them carefully and store them properly. Use coin sleeves, cases, or albums to protect your coins from the elements. Avoid cleaning them, as this can reduce their value, especially for collectors who prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. When you're ready to sell, there are several options to consider. Online auction sites like eBay can connect you with collectors worldwide, while local coin dealers might offer a quick and easy way to sell your coin. If you believe your coin is especially valuable, consider having it graded by a professional service. Grading adds credibility and can significantly increase your coin's value by providing an official assessment of its condition and rarity. So, there you have it. The 1993 penny, a coin most people overlook, could be hiding incredible value. Whether it's a mint error, a proof coin, or some other unique feature, these pennies have captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike. Have you checked your change lately? You might just have a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And stay tuned, because in our next video, we're diving into an even bigger mystery surrounding US coins. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. And one last thing, there's a little known detail about 1993 pennies that we didn't cover today. Want to know what it is? You'll have to tune in to the next video to find out. Until then, happy hunting. Hello, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into rare collectibles and the fascinating stories behind them. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Today, we're talking about one of the most intriguing coins in US history, the 1965 penny. Did you know that there are rumors of a 1965 penny that's worth millions of dollars? That's right, a simple penny you might overlook could be a fortune waiting to be discovered. So, grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's unravel the mystery behind this legendary coin. Before we dive into why a 1965 penny might be worth millions, let's set the stage with a little history. 1965 was a tumultuous year for the US Mint. The country was in the middle of a coin shortage, and people were hoarding silver coins due to rising silver prices. To combat this, the mint stopped producing silver coins for circulation and introduced clad coins. But this change also led to some unusual circumstances involving pennies. In an effort to streamline production, the mint stopped using mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. This means pennies from these years lack the typical D for Denver or S for San Francisco. This alone makes 1965 pennies somewhat interesting to collectors, but it's not why some are rumored to be worth millions. Now, let's talk about error coins. These are coins that were minted with mistakes, and they're highly sought after by collectors. In the case of the 1965 penny, there are a few types of errors that might make a coin incredibly valuable. First, we have wrong planchet errors. This happens when a coin is struck on a blank meant for a different denomination or metal composition. For example, if a 1965 penny was struck on a silver planchet, it would be a rare find indeed. Next, double die errors occur when a coin is struck twice but slightly off alignment, creating a doubled image. While not unique to 1965, finding a double die 1965 penny can significantly increase its value. Finally, we have transitional errors. 1965 was a year of change for coin production, and errors during this transition, such as a penny struck with leftover materials from previous years, could result in a one-of-a-kind coin. So, what's the deal with this rumored $1 million 1965 penny? According to coin experts and urban legends, there might be a 1965 penny struck on a rare metal, possibly leftover from 1964's production. If such a coin exists, its uniqueness could make it worth millions to the right collector. However, no verified 1965 penny has sold for millions, yet. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep an eye out. Sometimes, it takes years for rare coins to surface. Now, let's get practical. How can you tell if your 1965 penny is valuable? First, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the details. Check the weight. A regular penny weighs 3.11 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it might be on the wrong planchet. Inspect for doubling by looking at the lettering and numbers for signs of doubling. Look for unusual coloring. A silvery sheen could indicate a rare metal composition. If you find something unusual, consult a professional coin grader or a reputable numismatics expert. They can help authenticate and appraise your coin. To give you an idea of what's possible, let's look at some famous coin sales. For example, a 1943 copper penny sold for over $1.7 million because it was struck on a copper planchet during a year when pennies were supposed to be made of steel. If a 1965 penny with a similar rarity ever surfaces, it could easily fetch a similar price. So, there you have it, the mystery of the 1965 penny that's rumored to be worth millions. While we haven't seen one hit the market yet, the possibility keeps collectors on the hunt. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to uncover this legendary coin. Thanks for watching Treasure Finds. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to comment below, do you have a 1965 penny in your collection? Until next time, happy hunting. This small coin might seem like just another 1969 penny, but what if I told you it could be worth a fortune? Yes, this little 1-cent piece in your pocket or coin jar might hold secrets that make it incredibly valuable. Some have been sold for thousands of dollars at auctions, and collectors are constantly searching for these rare gems. Imagine turning 1 cent into life-changing money. It's not just possible, it's happened before. Stick with me, and I'll tell you all about it. The 1969 penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, comes from a long and rich tradition in U.S. coinage. Abraham Lincoln's profile first appeared on the penny in 1909, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a president. The design was updated in 1959 to include the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1969, this design was firmly established, and millions of pennies were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. The pennies from Denver are marked with a small d beneath the date, while those from Philadelphia bear no mint mark. While billions of 1969 pennies were struck, only a tiny fraction hold extraordinary value. What makes them special? It all comes down to errors, rare variations, and unique features. Mint errors are like little accidents during the coin-making process, and they can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The most famous error associated with the 1969 penny is the 1969 double die obverse. What's a double die obverse, you ask? It's when the die used to strike the coin is accidentally engraved with the design twice, slightly misaligned. This results in doubling on certain parts of the coin, like the date, the letters in Liberty, or the words, "In God We Trust." The doubling on a 1969 penny is bold and clear, making it one of the most sought-after error coins in the world. Collectors have paid tens of thousands of dollars for these pennies at auctions, and they remain a holy grail for coin enthusiasts. Here's what makes the 1969 double die so fascinating: it wasn't immediately recognized as a mint error. When these pennies first appeared, many people dismissed them as counterfeits, leading the Secret Service to seize some of them. Eventually, experts confirmed that the doubling was a legitimate mint error, and the seized pennies were returned. Today, these coins are rare, highly prized, and can fetch staggering sums of money, but the 1969 double die isn't the only error to look out for. Off-center strikes are another common error that can add significant value to a penny. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned with the die during the minting process, resulting in a design that's shifted off to one side. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin. Another fascinating error involves repunched mint marks, or RPMs. On a 1969 D penny, for example, the D mint mark may appear doubled or shifted due to the mint mark being stamped more than once. These errors are less dramatic than a double die but are still highly collectible. Coins struck on the wrong planchet are another category of rare and valuable errors. Imagine a penny struck on a dime planchet or another incorrect metal blank. These transitional errors are extremely rare and can sell for thousands of dollars. So, how do you know if your 1969 penny is valuable? The first step is to take a closer look. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is essential for spotting small details like doubling, misplaced mint marks, or other unusual features. Focus on the date, the word Liberty, and the phrase, "In God We Trust," to check for doubling. If you find anything unusual, compare your coin to reference guides or photos of known errors to see if it matches. If you suspect you have a valuable coin, the next step is to have it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. These experts will carefully examine your penny to confirm its authenticity and assign it a grade based on its condition. Coins in pristine condition, with minimal wear, tend to fetch the highest prices. Once your coin has been authenticated, you'll need to decide whether to keep it or sell it. If you choose to sell, there are several options. Online platforms like eBay allow you to reach a global audience of collectors, while local coin shops or dealers can provide a quicker, more straightforward process. For exceptionally valuable coins like the 1969 double die, professional auction houses might be your best bet, as they can connect you with serious buyers willing to pay top dollar. If you decide to keep your penny, proper storage is key to preserving its value. Coins should be stored in protective sleeves, cases, or albums to prevent damage from handling, moisture, or dust. Never clean your coin, as cleaning can scratch the surface and significantly reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins in their original, unaltered condition, even if they show signs of age or wear. The 1969 penny is a perfect example of how an ordinary coin can hold extraordinary value. From the famous double die obverse to less dramatic but still intriguing errors, these pennies have captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Next time you're sorting through your change, take a moment to examine your pennies closely. You never know, you might just find a 1969 penny worth far more than 1 cent. And if you do, be sure to share your story. Who knows? Your discovery might inspire someone else to start their own coin collecting adventure. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of rare coins. And one last thing, there's a little known secret about 1969 pennies that we didn't cover today. Want to know what it is? Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll reveal even more hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Happy hunting!